Hello, you monkeys. Welcome back to the Matthew Guillen Network show number something. Probably 1000. Probably not 1000. I still have to number the episodes for the shows. I'm getting pretty overwhelmed, but I do not want to admit that because that is some weak stuff. So we're gonna ignore all of our world problems and pretend that everything is going great. I'm just gonna adjust my desk a little. Okay, so we will be talking tonight about not much, honestly. People buying, people selling crypto, commodities possibly topping at last. I don't think for very long, honestly. It seems like it's just a normal local correction that we'll be having a look at and diagnosing, of course. Of course, we will also look at the quite a rise that we're seeing on these altcoins, especially Hyperliquid. What is going on? We'll be talking about that. I do have some news about it. We will also be looking at Minnesota. A lot of stuff in Minnesota. Tom Homan, all this stuff. Tim Walz. So let's go ahead and get into it tonight. Bitcoin's current price, 88,630, approaching our pivot level. Lovely. What do we do at this point? I don't want to buy, but I have to, and I will. Seems like yesterday was... It was not even that good of a buy. What did I buy at? It's just not going to tell me anymore now, is it? I think I bought it like 87,000 something, 500. Don't know, don't care. Buying now, 250 on Bitcoin right here. At the top, unfortunately, but that's fine. We increase the exposition. We continue to increase exposition because we want as much as we can get. And obviously at the best possible price. And if this thing goes higher than 89,700 or 800, I will be in the green, and I obviously will not be buying if I'm in the green, right? I'll just have to rise with whatever I've got. So in the meantime, I will just continue to buy Bitcoin every day. Not a problem. I'm doing better than Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is very disappointing, honestly. He bought the top. He somehow managed to screw it up. As predicted, by the way. We'll be talking about how much strategy bought. And he didn't even buy that much, honestly, which was also disappointing. I even called him out on it. I'm like, you're poor. You're poor now. What are you doing? Only 250 million? Anyways, not that I have that kind of money, but... yeah, so my opinion does not matter in that sense. Okay, but we'll survive. Let's analyze this. So, I mean, not much obviously has changed. Today was more of a recovery. This thing looks laggy. I'm gonna refresh it. We were expecting Bitcoin's price to drop to 84,000 at a minimum. Worst case scenario, of course. Now, don't think that, you know, this week is boring or this week is going to be an up-only week. None of that is confirmed, mainly because we're expecting some volatility to happen this week. I know today wasn't a big volatile day, because, yeah, literally nothing happened. We confirmed that yesterday, so this is as low volatility as it's going to get this week. Tomorrow, day after, Thursday, I don't know what's happening Thursday, but Friday, also volatility that we could expect for this week. It's going to be a good week, good for trading if you really care about it. That being said, I don't think I will touch any of the altcoins yet, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. We've got a good rise on some of them, and we could see maybe move toward the downside. Potential short entries is what I'm expecting to see. So let's have a look. Ignore that. Yeah, that's what I still see with Bitcoin. A drop to 84,000 or a rise max to 91,000. I'm still feeling bearish this week overall, because regardless of whatever outcomes we get on any of the stuff that we are expecting this week, on the Senate Banking Market Structure Bill Committee, on the SEC CFTC meeting, on the government shutdown, on the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, on the jobless data that we're getting on Thursday, that's what it was, and PPI data that's coming out Friday. Regardless of what it is, it's all going to be bad and markets are going to crash because that's just what happens. And I don't want to be pessimistic about it. Maybe they're good. Maybe one out of them are good. And we'll have a good rise on one of the days. But I think that overall, there's just too much stuff happening. I feel like That market structure build might just get delayed again. That's going to be a boring result. You know, all this build up, all this hype. Ever since last year, honestly, we've been talking about it. Oh, in January. January is going to be the month where we can finally get this thing behind us and have that market structure bill signed. No, it seems like that's also just continuously getting delayed multiple times at this point. So it gets kind of boring. Isn't the Senate Agriculture Committee also supposed to vote? Senate Agriculture Committee. I'm looking this up on Grok. Crypto market structure bill decision date. I literally just look at this type question I typed. That's happening January 29th then, you know? January 29th, that is Thursday. So hey, there you go. If Thursday seemed like there was nothing going to happen, this will happen. Senate Agriculture Committee's markup decision vote on the crypto market structure bill is scheduled for January 29, after being postponed from January 27 due to the winter weather. Wait, are you serious? Was this also supposed to happen tomorrow? I mean, this winter weather, okay, I don't know how really bad it is. Here it's not even that bad. I'm in Ontario, it's not that bad. We were expecting the cold. I honestly did not even take a step outside for the past couple of days. Actually, no, that's a lie. Yesterday was Sunday. I was out on Sunday. Yeah. So no, never mind. It wasn't even that bad. It was a little cold. It wasn't that bad. Come on. Come on now, dress up. Anyway, so yeah, anyways, that's that's the stuff that's going on in the world. The winter stuff, we're using it as an excuse for delays now too. Even at my work, because I'm doing collections, there's people like, oh no, it's too much snow. I don't want to go make my payment. Okay, come on, dude. Yes, you absolutely can make your payments. What are you talking about? But anyways, oh my gosh, these numbers, 88666666. Moving on from Bitcoin, geez. Let's go to Ethereum. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, great. What do we do in this situation? Do we short? Maybe, soon. I don't know, we haven't really confirmed a true top yet. Yeah, we're kind of delaying our push, but I feel like this one might give us the push a little further up. It might happen overnight, I don't know. It might happen tomorrow morning. We shall see. I'll be keeping my eye on it, but right now, I don't think I will short just yet. I'd wait for a 15-minute chart overbought before going in. And I want to see it above the price of whatever this is, 296.126. I'm going to try to draw the most straight possible line that I can. If we do manage to pop our head above this and start, you know, delaying a bit lower, then I would open my short position. Stop loss, of course, above 3,030. And we go down on Ethereum. Obviously, if it doesn't work out, that's probably because Bitcoin broke 91,000 and we're going higher. So that would be a good thing for me overall. Yeah, I'd be losing money on Ethereum, but I'd be making more on Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be minding that. But if I'm right, and I probably will be right because of statistics and the volatility that we're expecting this week, the push downward should give me some good gains. 1 to 3 risk reward ratio is what I'm hoping to get from it. So we shall see once the time approaches. As of right now, it's looking okay, but the setup is not fully there yet. So my vision is kind of playing out on Ethereum. We'll see how it goes. Solana. I don't plan on doing much with Solana. I feel like it is pretty oversold. So like the movement downward is not really that... How do I explain it? It doesn't seem like it can go much lower, honestly. Yes, Solana is at a low price, oversold, 124. Not oversold on the 4-hour chart, but it did become oversold. I got stop hunted, okay? Am I butthurt because of Solana getting liquidated? Yeah, kind of. But doesn't mean that I'm not going to short it or long it. I will do what I have to do whenever the time is appropriate. As of right now, I would expect it to rise to 130, but it hasn't even had that much strength to continue rising. It's just kind of there. It's not really doing much. And this, I don't know, what do we do about this down wick? Not even a wick, was a full bearish engulfing candle, whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. Make your own decision with that. I'm not going to touch it for now. That being said, even if we do get a drop, you're looking at 111, and the rise, like I said, most important resistance is 130. That is the 91,000 equivalent from Bitcoin for Solana. Hyperliquid having a amazing day. I entered at the right time and I left at the right time. Took some quick profit, no big deal. We just pull off trades like this on the channel, like on a very regular basis, and we never get liquidated at all. Do not watch my stream on October 10. That is all. So, I like this. Good. Nice rise. Correction should happen soon. We are very overbought. Not very. 73 RSI. It's not too bad in the 4-hour chart. A correction could happen maybe around 22. I don't know. The uptrend, it's there, right? So deserved flip in the trend from the super trend. We'll see how high this rises. That's wherever it stabilizes, the super trend line, that's kind of where I would expect price to drop to, approach, and I would have to decide to go long from there, unless it's just yet another false signal like we have seen multiple times now. 3 times. The uptrends seem to be these like false signals. I don't know if this time will be any different. This time I feel like it might be different because of the fact of the $20 support level. Nobody wants to see Hyperliquid below $20, so it's going to be tough, of course, for that to be broken. And the drop that we had on... when did the drop happen? Let me look at Solana. It was easy to determine that. January 25 at 11 a.m. January 25 at 11 a.m. This didn't even drop that hard. I mean, it dropped enough for me to take profit. That was luck, honestly. But, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't that bad of a drop. It was already pretty oversold, Hyperliquid, in general. So, I don't expect it to go lower in this case. Lower than 20. But a correction might happen from this one soon, so I would be cautious of going max long or max short. I don't know. A lot of people are kind of bearish on this from what I see. The funding rate is negative, so that means people are willing to have more short positions opened over here. That just means that they're likely just going to get short squeezed and continuously liquidated. People trying to time the top, the perfect top. Doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing for a while, especially now that you have, super trend in your favor if you're going long, and also you're getting like this barrier of the $20 not allowing price to go lower, at least for the time being. We'll see how price behaves, of course, as time goes on, but that's what I see for Hyperliquid. Sui doing absolutely nothing. Even with this crazy great day that we have today, not a lot of movement on it. 144 still. It's honestly really boring. 155 is downtrend and validation, might drop eventually, unless we rise to it. If we fall further away from it, we're looking at about 130 to 128 as a support for Sui, and that is your last level before we ultimately start making new lows. Not new all-time lows, but new yearly lows, new 2-year lows. I don't know, we haven't seen these prices in ever since Sui's big rise, right? So, yeah. Chainlink is at this area. Why didn't I buy here again? I don't know. I was looking for 10 maybe, right? Anything below 11? I don't remember what I was looking for. But still, I do believe Chainlink is, even at these prices, a good buy. Mainly for spot. I wouldn't do it on leverage positions in futures. Too dangerous. The thing gets a little volatile sometimes. I kind of skipped over Hyperliquid. I did want to see what this rise specifically was about. Yes, I will be talking about Hyperliquid in one of my posts, but I'm not sure if that's truly the reason. The reason from what I had in the post is because of commodities. They enabled commodities trading, and I mean, if you look at the volume in gold and silver, those are still rising. Yeah, they had a big correction today, but overall still huge rise. Whale accumulation is what it seems like. 10 million purchase today. No, tomorrow. What? Off exchanges via OTC on January 27. Today is January 26 for the record, so time travel exists, I guess. Or maybe it's time zones. What to look out for? Don't care. Trade XYZ volume surge. Built on Hyperliquid. It hit new record highs due to surging commodities trading. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was talking about. So yeah, it has to do with that. Volume because of commodities. And whale accumulation is what it seems like. That's not too bad. Good for Hyperliquid. Back to our normal boring coins. Aptos not making the rise that I want it to. Still at 155. Okay, well I want it to go above whatever this was, 162. Approach 165, 167, top out there, and then start dropping. We can't even do that, right? To open a valid short trade, so I don't know where we're going from here. Kind of stuck in this middle zone. This is our all-time low, this 141.57. So if we do break that, of course, we're maybe going to actually hold up around $1.38 because whatever happened over here, I'm assuming this was Japan, carry trade issues with the Bank of Japan rate hike. Yeah, that kind of narrative is floating around. We talked about it yesterday again. I guess that is mainly the only reason, but I think that's kind of behind us now. Who really cares? And the rates are still cheap. You're complaining about a 0.25% interest rate hike. That could potentially happen. Hasn't even happened yet. It might happen. Does Bank of Japan also get their interest rate decision this week? I do recall that last time it was United States and Japan at the same time, and Canada. Not at the same time, but like during the same week. US and Canada do typically have it on the same. Let me check Canada as well while we're at it. Where is Japan? Where's the letter J? Japan. Save. What do you have for me? So Bank of Canada will be giving their interest rate decision. Japan. I don't see anything for Japan unless I scrolled too far. Monetary policy meeting minutes. Is that the same as the interest rate decision? I don't think it is. And that's happening tomorrow, Tuesday, 6:50 p.m. You know what? I'm just going to look it up. When is BOJ rate decision? October 30. Thank you. No, okay. January 23rd. Oh, it already happened. Well, that's awkward. Let me go to last week then. What was the answer to that then? I was not aware of that at all previous week. Bank of Japan, January 23rd, they said. It's probably 22nd. Yes, here it is. They kept rates unchanged. No, they rose it. No, they didn't. They kept rates unchanged. 0.75%. So why did we even crash over the weekend? Like that, none of this makes sense. But okay, you do you. Negative funding rate, same deal with Aptos. A lot of people shorting it. Don't know how much we could expect for it to rise. The rises will be great, of course, when markets do indeed rally. Like we're going to need Bitcoin in an uptrend for Aptos to start, you know, pulling off some short squeezes there. But for the time being, the price is suppressed. Maybe if you want to go long, you would get paid the funding fees, although it's not much. And eventually, when the big rise does happen, you could maybe take some profit. Hard maybe. I wouldn't do it. I'm staying out of it. BitTensor still in its downtrend. Downtrend seems to be kind of weakening as time goes on here because I can't really draw a proper downtrend, at least not based off of these two levels. I might be able to with one of these, whatever this is. Let me go to a daily chart here. Might actually match whatever we have in the super trend. Let's go back to 4 hours. Yeah, that's the one that kind of matches the one I drew on the daily chart. So I'm going to delete this one. It's no longer valid for the time being. So this makes more sense for a resistance to be at around 250. And with more reason, as it rises or approaches 250, for it to drop a little lower to, of course, our last support that we're seeing at 206 to 210. That's what I'd look for in BitTensor. Potentially great short opportunity, honestly. As much as I hate to short something like BitTensor, this actually looks great. Something like this. We'll see if it plays out. I'll keep my eye on it. Monero up 3%. it's really not moving at all. And this excuse of an uptrend that we drew, it's kind of weakening. Obviously, it's breaking because we do have an active downtrend in the 4-hour chart. And there's no other downtrend apart from this. So 525 is what's needed for this to start flipping this trend and start making potentially new highs again. I don't know if that same push, as you know, Zcash dying off, is gonna... We're gonna have that same kind of impact in price volatility to push us back up there. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. So we might make a lower high in this case, but it's gonna be a big breakout because this thing is really volatile. So whatever rise out of 525 that you can achieve, even if it's like to 650, that's already like a 24% rise, you know, 50% rise overall for it to go from here to all-time high again. But I don't expect it to go that high. And either way, I do maybe plan on accumulating here. I don't really know if I will. I don't know. It's going to be rough. Anything below 400, we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on it. And yeah, that is all for the crypto analysis. As I was mentioning, the snowstorm, yeah, I hope it doesn't like delay everything, really. But even the Fed is at risk of delaying their FOMC meeting, apparently, because of the weather. But for the time being, I think we're safe. Federal government offices in Washington, D.C. are closed Tuesday, January 27, due to inclement weather. That's tomorrow, and that's why those votes... Actually, yeah, you know what? This makes sense. Senate Banking Committee. Is that the same? Can I reopen Grok and pull up that conversation again, please? Because I don't know what the Agriculture Committee does. Like, aren't they supposed to do stuff with agriculture? Like farms or something? Is it the same for... What is it called? The Senate Banking Committee. Will their decision date be delayed as well? Oh, great. I'm getting two respuestas. Razonamiento. No, there are different bills and different versions. The markup was originally set for January 15, but postponed, mainly due to industry pushback. Not the weather. Yeah, we knew that. There's no new date that has been announced yet. The Banking Committee markup remains delayed with no confirmed rescheduling. Okay, great. Proceeding with markup on 29. There's no new date set, so we're just not getting it at all anymore. And this is just due to the same excuses last time, the industry pushback and lack of bipartisan support. So we don't have an estimated date yet. So what about the Agriculture Committee? That's still happening on January 29. But I don't know if that's going to really do much. It's a bunch of Democrats that will be... They were the main people that were crying about it the first time it was supposed to get announced. But yeah. Anyways, back to this. The Federal Reserve Board, they still plan to issue all their releases as scheduled, including statistical publications. The Federal Open Market Committee will meet as planned on Tuesday, January 27, and on Wednesday, January 28. So they're still running. The FOMC statement will still be released at 2 p.m. EST, so there's no delays there. The chair's news conference will start at 2:30 p.m. EST, so Jerome Powell will be nuking our bags. No plans have been changed in that regard, which is good. We don't want delays. We want you to nuke our portfolios as scheduled immediately if possible. Trump has been mass posting on Truth Social, and we're going to read it all. Hooray. He says that I am pleased to report that Venezuela is releasing its political prisoners at a rapid rate, which rate will be increasing over the coming short period of time. I'd like to thank the leadership of Venezuela for agreeing to this powerful humanitarian gesture. Thank you, Venezuela, I guess, for not being evil. I guess we should also thank Hamas for not being evil. Or maybe they are evil, I don't know. We just recovered the last hostage body in Gaza. Thus, we got back all 20 of the living hostages and all of the dead. Amazing job. Most thought of it as an impossible thing to do. Congratulations to my great team of champions. Yeah, I mean, so far that's kind of working out at least. The thing in the Israel-Palestine conflict, whatever it is. So yeah, seems like Hamas is complying. Now we're looking forward to the Board of Peace and the rebuilding of Gaza, right? The mass cleanup and people that are appointed. And Hamas also has to disarm. I don't know if they fully did yet. We still need updates on that. On Minnesota, Trump says that Governor Tim Walz called me with a request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We have such tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other place that we have touched. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. He also came out with these posts that we're going to read. During the 4 years of crooked Joe Biden and Democrat failed leadership, tens of millions of illegal alien criminals poured into our country, including hundreds of thousands of convicted murderers, rapists, kidnappers, drug dealers, and terrorists. I won the election in a historic landslide, and Republicans won majorities in both the House and Senate in large part because we pledged to seal the border, which we have done, which is true, and to launch the largest mass deportation of illegal alien criminals in American history. That is questionable, but okay. The deportation effort is underway, and in Republican-run cities and states, these operations are going peacefully and smoothly because local law enforcement officers are allowed to work with their federal counterparts. For example, in the 5 Republican states of Texas, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Louisiana, ICE has arrested 150,245 criminal illegal aliens over the past year, with zero protests, riots, or chaos. Why? Because local police and ICE are cooperating and working together. Meanwhile, Democrat-run sanctuary cities and states are refusing to cooperate with ICE, and they're actually encouraging left-wing agitators to unlawfully obstruct their operations to arrest the worst of the worst people, which that leads to stuff that we see with Alex Pretty, or the other lady, Renee Good. I saw something funny. It's probably not funny. I don't know. People just, taking a dig at the 2 liberals that died by the hands of ICE. Their last names. Pretty good, Okay, anyway. They're saying, like, how's it going? And they post the 2 pictures of each one of them side by side, the 2 victims, and they say, pretty good. Anyways, that's just Twitter memes. Meanwhile, I just read that. By doing this, Democrats are putting illegal alien criminals over tax-paying, law-abiding citizens, and they have created dangerous circumstances for everyone involved. Tragically, 2 American citizens have lost their lives as a result of this Democrat-ensued chaos. Yeah, it did kind of happen, so there's that. Now, this is another thing that Trump, following up to that post, wanted to talk about with Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who was supposed to be the vice president if Kamala Harris won. Imagine that. There's no more tampon Tim Walz name-calling anymore, by the way, so hey, at least that's an upgrade. Trump says, that is why I'm hereby calling on Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and every Democrat governor and mayor in the United States of America to formally cooperate with the Trump administration to enforce our nation's laws rather than resist and stoke the flames of division, chaos, and violence. Zoran Mandami, by the way, said to abolish ICE. Just wanted to point that out. Number 1. Governor Walz and Mayor Frey should turn over all criminal illegal aliens that are currently incarcerated in their state prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with all illegal criminals with an active warrant or known criminal history for immediate deportation. Yeah, do that. Why not? Number 2. State and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens arrested by local police. Okay. Number 3, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes. Seems like the police were not there to help ICE most times, right? People are like, where's the cops? Where's the cops? No, they're not even present half the time, so. Number 4, Democrat politicians must partner with the federal government to protect American citizens in the rapid removal of all criminal illegal aliens in our country. Some Democrats in places like Memphis, Tennessee, or Washington, D.C. have done so, resulting in safer streets for all. And in addition, I am hereby calling on the United States Congress to immediately pass legislation to end sanctuary cities, which is the root cause of all these problems. American cities should be safe sanctuaries only for law-abiding citizens of America, not illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws. Yeah, that's true. Why aren't we doing that? All of these requests are rooted in common sense and will provide the best possible circumstances to make America great again. The Trump administration is standing by and waiting for any Democrat to do the right thing and to work with us on these important matters of making America safe, like it is in all sections of our country where we are, together with local leadership participating and involved. Yeah. So like I said, now Tom Homan is in there. This is the border czar who... I mean, I guess the border is okay now because there's not a lot of illegal crossings, at least not that we know of. So now we're plopping the guy in the middle of Minneapolis, I guess, Minnesota. The Border Patrol commander, who was there before, Greg Bovino, he's stepping down. He's leaving Minnesota, and ICE Director Tom Homan will be taking his place. DHS also reportedly suspended Bovino's social media access. That's a bit extreme. Why are we doing that? Why can't you just fire the guy? But anyway. Trump commented on this Tom Homan thing as well, saying, I am sending Tom Homan to Minnesota tonight. He has not been involved in that area, but he knows and likes many of the people there. Tom is tough but fair, and will reportedly direct to me. And will report directly to me, sorry. He'll reportedly direct to me. Separately, a major investigation is going on with respect to the massive $20 billion plus welfare fraud that has taken place in Minnesota and is at least partially responsible for the violent organized protests going on in the streets. Additionally, the DOJ and Congress are looking at Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who left Somalia with nothing, and now she's reportedly worth more than $44 million. Time will tell all. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's go. Why did I open calendar? Calculator. Dude, this is just awesome. Okay, moving on. So that's going on in Minnesota. What is going on with the rest of the world? Well, China, I've talked about maybe they're the big drivers between buying a lot of these commodities. I talked about them buying a lot of copper yesterday, and the gold and silver, it's not surprising that they're also part of that. They continue to stockpile gold behind the scenes. They acquired 10 tons of gold in November, which is roughly 11 times more than the officially reported by the central bank, according to Goldman Sachs estimates. Similarly, in September, the purchases reached 15 tons, or 10 times more than what was officially reported. Furthermore, China officially bought an additional 0.9 tons in December, pushing the total gold reserves to a record 2,306 tons of gold. This marked the 14th consecutive monthly purchase. Yeah, they've been buying. In 2025, China's total reported gold purchases reached plus 27 tons. Assuming official purchases were 10% of what China is actually buying, this suggests China acquired about 270 tons of physical gold in 2025. They're stockpiling gold like we're in a major crisis. Why don't they do that with Bitcoin? Imagine if they did, dumping all those trillions into Bitcoin. How much is that amount of money? I do want to know. Let me go back to that. 2,306 tons of gold. What is the price of 2,306 tons of gold? Give me the math straight up. That's about 375 billion US dollars. That's a pretty good amount. Yeah. And how much Bitcoin could that buy at these prices? 375 billion divided by, what is the price of Bitcoin? No, I should multiply, right? With this money, you're buying a lot of Bitcoins at the price of... No, it's divided. I don't know how to do math. Forgive me. 88,704. You could afford 4 million Bitcoins. Does that make sense? No, that does not make sense. You cannot afford 4 million Bitcoins. Did I put an extra zero? What did I just do? Why is math so hard? Can I just do AI? Deep dive in AI, thank you. How much Bitcoin can you buy with 371 billion USD? Why do you do this? Why are you so weird with these slash anyways? Just give me the math. You don't gotta think too long. 4 million Bitcoins? Are you serious? That doesn't even make sense. Or does it? That's what I calculated. Current price of Bitcoin is 88,600. Yeah, kinda. 700, but okay. Really? 4 million Bitcoins? We're talking about like US government having 300,000 for scale. We're talking about, what's his name? Satoshi Nakamoto having 1 million only. China can buy 4 million Bitcoins with that amount of money that they just used to buy gold during the past 2025 year. So, okay, I guess, yeah, you're going to skyrocket the price because there's obviously not that much Bitcoin left in circulation. There's only 1 million left to be mined. We're at almost 20 million mined. There's only 21 million that will exist. Only 1 million can be mined. You got the idea. Supply, demand, price will shoot up like crazy. It's only a matter of time before Bitcoin actually starts shooting up, by the way. We'll talk about the difference in prices and market caps between all this stuff. And yes, I'm going to repeat the rotation narrative, so get ready. Gold and silver today. Just on a normal day of a correction, erasing $1.7 trillion of market cap in 90 minutes, which is one of the largest reversals in history. Is this true? I did not even look at the gold chart. Well, it looks like that whatever excuse of a reversal this is, it's already been erased. We're already recovering from that and heading higher. About to head higher. 5,074 is the price of gold. 5,111 is the all-time high. We're about $35 away from it right now. This is billions of dollars we're talking about flowing in and out of gold. This crash right here is 1.7 trillion. A 2% crash in gold is 1.7 trillion. Do you know what else has a market cap of 1.7 trillion? You guessed it, Bitcoin. This is all that's required to go into Bitcoin, to duplicate the price from here. What's 88 times 2? 160, don't make me do math. 176? Okay. My math is embarrassing this stream, but yeah. But it's just not happening. And let's not even talk about the altcoins. Those are going to like 20x with this kind of money, even more. Not saying that obviously all of it, just because it crashed this much, all of that has to go into Bitcoin because the people only care about gold right now. People don't really care about Bitcoin. The Bitcoin narrative right now is not that hot. The interest is not at a high point as it once was in the past couple of years. We are at that point of the cycle, if we are even in the same cycle, where this is the time we're expecting a bear market. I don't think we're in the cycle anymore. If anything, we've broken the cycle because of previous factors, right? Us breaking all-time high before halving. That's all I could really think of. And we didn't really get a euphoric stage. We didn't really get an alt season, dominance, etc. A lot of things play into it. Things are significantly different. We've noticed that every time a cycle goes on, it takes longer, right? Every cycle, it's been taking longer and longer and longer for us to, reach our best potential or all-time high, whatever the case was. And we know that all this money exists but it's just not flowing into Bitcoin and crypto for whatever reason. Anyways, 90 minutes, 1.7 trillion of market cap gone. I think this is both of them combined. Not that... Hold on, what are they saying here? 1.7 trillion of market cap erased. For gold and silver. I don't think it's each. That doesn't make sense. It should be both of them combined. Even still, like that's still money that exists that is being reduced from that market cap. You know what I'm saying? After a long time, our gold target of 5,000 was met. We took shorts near 5,100, and now these shorts are deep in the money. Not for long. We're already on our way up with gold, so relax. And this is absolute cinema, apparently. Binance says you can now trade gold and silver on Binance, and also Tesla. You could trade TradFi now there. That's nice. As soon as you list gold and silver, this happened literally today in the morning, it crashes. Binance market manipulators, hey, maybe, just saying. That's the joke here if you didn't really get it. So, congrats. Speaking of criminal activity from CZ and Binance, actually, no, forget that. I just saw another post of somebody else talking about, like, ever since CZ got freed from jail, he ruined the whole crypto ecosystem by launching Aster and having this attack on Hyperliquid, which caused everyone to not want to, you know, the DEX overhyping narrative that happened. Remember that? Aster, Apex, Bluefin, Sun. I'm trying to remember these. It's hard. And Hyperliquid itself, obviously. All of these DEXs that suddenly started coming out, everybody was launching a DEX. Well, now that narrative's kind of dead. And the only one that survived, as predicted, was Hyperliquid. Aster still is there, of course, but it's not that popular. And the fact that CZ was so heavily promoting Aster, he kind of... people are accusing him of causing this, like, infighting between the crypto communities where ultimately it led to where we are right now. Not much people caring about DEXs anymore. Yeah, it was good at the time. There was a lot of volatility. They started rising during that time. But not this, with what we're seeing now. Not anymore. Things have kind of cooled off again. But anyway, this exists on Polymarket for whatever reason. Will someone throw something at CZ's face at a crypto event in 2026? 79% chance that happens. Let's hope it's not a grenade, because, come on. But why suddenly this huge spike up? Are people like planning on throwing stuff at CZ to make money on Polymarket? I mean, you could literally rig stuff like this on Polymarket with real life events if, you know, the public has access or control to do something that would cause any of that to happen. I don't know. He's betting his whole net worth on this, on himself. Imagine, like, what if he pays an actor, is like, hey man, go to the audience, get this, I don't know, tomato, and while I'm speaking on stage, just throw it at me. Why? Oh, no particular reason at all. Meanwhile, his Polymarket account, you know, stuff like that. And I've also mentioned, like, Elon Musk could also rig his own stuff, but he's rich enough. I don't think he has to. It would just give him bad reputation. How many tweets will Elon Musk do? Will Elon Musk change his profile picture by this date? Elon Musk, of course, is not stupid. He can just see that as like, oh, you know what? I could just screw over a bunch of people, or I can make a lot of people rich. Man, if only I had Elon's phone number or something. Did you know that Elon is in the Bible? Anyway. Will silver or Solana hit $300 first? New Polymarket bet idea. What's your bet? That's an interesting one. Silver versus Solana. Which one's hitting 300? It's going to be like that same argument that we saw with Ethereum versus gold. Which one's going to hit 5,000 first? Obviously, as of today, you know the answer. Which one is already at 5,000? That is gold. Ethereum is struggling to stay above 3,000 as we speak. So, yeah. When it comes to the next comparison, okay, what's next on the list? Gold, silver versus Solana. Which one is going to hit $300 first? Solana is currently worth more, so it has that going on for it. Solana's price is 124 versus silver, that is maybe 100 at this point. I did not look at silver's chart. To hit 300, you're going to need trillions again. I'm going to use the same argument with money. But honestly, does money even matter anymore? Is money even real? We're seeing trillions go into gold. Where are people getting these trillions from? Or these institutions or countries or whomever? Trillions do exist, and they'll just go into whatever's the best asset right now. Silver is at 110, right, by the way. So for Solana to, you know, wait, what is this? Oh, platinum, never mind. So for Solana to like go to 300, it doesn't require a lot of money to do that. That is why my brain would say, yeah, obviously Solana would hit 300 first before silver ever does. In fact, Solana has hit 300 before, and silver has never done that. Silver is just now making all-time highs, and we're shoving in trillions of dollars and the market cap of silver. But then, once again, I also thought the same thing with Ethereum, right? You're going to need, what, $35 trillion to have gold at 5,000. And yet here we are, and Ethereum has received no money, not even a few $1 billion, a couple $100 billion that is required to push it to 5,000 price. So it just really depends on whatever is hot. But I really don't think that we can continue for much longer. Like, how much more money can we really put into this thing? I keep saying that, and it just keeps going higher, doesn't it? So there's no winning. But I mean, for something so small and tiny and pathetic like Ethereum and Solana, you don't require a lot of money to pump those prices up again compared to what we're seeing with gold and silver. Maybe it's naive of me to compare it like that. I'm still going to bet my money on Solana hitting 300 first. Like, that's ever going to happen. What if none of them ever hit 300? Hyperliquid, we talked about this as well. HIP3, they deployed, the DEXs. They have hit a new all-time high in open interests above $790 million, and that is due to the surging commodities trading. It's not even because crypto is hot that the DEXs are thriving. It's because commodities are hot that Hyperliquid is doing good. Imagine that. Commodities are the ones that are driving, you know, the volume, the revenue that Hyperliquid will be seeing. Crypto is not that hot right now. But hey, people are still using, you know, the products at least. Hyperliquid is still being used, so deserved rise, by the way. 15%, 16%. We're still going, by the way. We're not stopping. I didn't even mention how high we could go. It's going to be about 26, of course, and then $28.25. Obvious resistance over here. I do believe we can, like, I don't know, it's going to be rough. I feel like the momentum is, like, slowing down over here, so I don't expect it to go too much higher than, you know, hovering at around low 26 before correcting someplace, like I mentioned, to, I don't know how low, maybe 22, depending on where super trend rises to. I don't think it's going to stay all the way down here at 20. That'll be impossible. It has to make a higher low, which I'm estimating to be around 22 or maybe anything below 23, right? Someplace around there. And then we could see a good rise to about 28 over here as our next leg up after whatever high we're about to hit right now. Because of this resistance level that we have here, and of course of a downtrend line. 30 maximum, you're not going to see Hyperliquid above 30. Not for a while. Not for this week. Let's just say that. Okay, moving on from that, let's go to MicroStrategy over here. They've acquired 2,932 Bitcoins for $264 million. Yeah, I said they're poor. Average price, take a wild guess. Did Bitcoin even hit 90,000 at all last week? Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. When did it hit that? Right over here. The one spike up in price, that is where Michael Saylor decides to buy. How does he manage to screw it up every time? That's my question. But hey, at least it was only $260 million. That's not too bad. What people are more concerned about is their average price increasing over here. 76,000 per Bitcoin. That's bound to happen, of course, if you keep buying as the price is above your average price. It's just going to keep on increasing, obviously. Peter Schiff even commented on it. Congratulations. You finally got your average price above 76,000. It looks like you're running out of firepower to keep Bitcoin propped up above that level. Once again, the current price is already well below your last average purchase price. Yeah, good thing to point out. I'm with Peter on this one. You're messing up, Michael. What are you doing? 90,000. How do you even manage to do that? Yeah, we did kind of like top over here at 90,000, but like barely this rise over here. How does he do it? Just buy at like 88,000 like a normal person. But anyway, whatever. His money, his choice. Bitmine also, you know, they're still buying Ethereum. They acquired 40,302 ETH over the past week, bringing the total holdings to 4.243 million Ethereums, which is worth $12 billion, about 3.52% of the total supply. What is 3.5% of infinity? Moving on. Tom Lee also, let's not forget that he mentioned Bitcoin at, what did he say? 180,000 by end of January? That's crazy. But he still believes this because of that same theory of the capital rotation, as I mentioned. He said on CNBC that Bitcoin is about to go parabolic once gold and silver take a break. We thought that break was today, but no, clearly not. We're still on the rise. Gold and silver wiped out around 1.7 trillion in market cap today, like we saw. Will it go into Bitcoin? That's all that's required to duplicate the price. And like I said, that should take us immediately to, what did I say again? 170,000? Yeah, 170 something. Which that would complement what he is saying. But to see that happen in a few days, just out of nowhere, I really don't think it will happen. It has to be like huge coordination of everybody selling off gold and silver to buy Bitcoin. So I think this is truly the meme at this point. The timeline at the moment, metals will top soon, then money that rotates, then that money will rotate into crypto. Yeah, it's what everybody's saying, myself included. Why does the image get smaller when I click on it to expand? Shouldn't it be the opposite? I'm clicking on this image to make it larger and it's just smaller. I'm better off just looking at the image the way this is here. But anyways, that's funny. BlackRock investors, they were kind of pulling out of crypto, kind of. If you look, pay attention to the ETF flows, which we have not been looking at recently, but we will now. They saw $356 million of client money leave its spot Bitcoin ETF on January 21st. That is the 6th largest daily outflow in history. Last week, total spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded $1.33 billion in net outflows, which is the second biggest weekly dump ever. ETFs selling removes a key source of spot demand for Bitcoin. They're becoming the thing they swore to destroy. Honestly, this is like expected. We kind of figured that one of these days were about to happen, where the ETFs would eventually start selling off because they're not just going to buy forever. They have to sell off. And yeah, recently it's been 394 million, 479 million, 700 million, 32 million, 103 million, 9 million so far today in the past couple of days. Overall, some outflows that we're starting to see. That's not that great, is it? So yeah, part of the reason why we have not been rising, ETF suppression of price continuing to go up, it's not really happening. The UK, apparently they are also blocking 40% of crypto payments. £1 billion in transactions have been rejected. An industry survey of exchanges show that UK banks are blocking around 40% of crypto payments, with 80% of platforms reporting a sharp rise in customer payment disruptions over the past year. What are they doing? And this kind of ties into our next topic here as well. The US opened an investigation into John Daghita over allegations that he stole more than $40 million from the US government while his father was contracted to manage seized crypto assets. They're stealing money from the Bitcoin reserve. That's not a good thing. We'll talk about this here, especially with what obviously Zach XBT, they literally resemble each other. This is the pump fun kid that rugged you guys, and this is the guy that's now hacking US government Bitcoin reserves, seized crypto. Crazy. The son of a CEO at US Marshall's crypto custody firm allegedly steals millions in Bitcoin from the US government. A young hacker was baited into showing off his wallets during a band-for-band argument on Telegram. Imagine that over some dumb argument on Telegram where it's like band for band. It means like Show me how much money you got and I'll show you how much money I got, right? All this flexing that you need to do online, who cares? But anyways, I've done it too, okay? Anyway, those wallets are now linked to over $40 million in seized crypto stolen from the US government. What a self-report. Just to flex on the internet to some rando on Telegram, you decide to expose all this hacking that you've done because he must have leaked his Bitcoin addresses, right? And, well, that's a wanted address for stealing the government's crypto. I don't even know how they do that. According to a detailed investigation by Zach XBT, whom we love, the individual known as John Lick was caught screen sharing wallets tied to more than $90 million in suspected thefts, including funds traced back to US government seizure addresses connected to the Bitfinex hack. That's crazy. On the recordings, John is seen controlling multiple addresses as millions in ETH and Tron are actively moved in real time, leaving little doubt over ownership. Blockchain tracing shows the funds flowing from a US government seizure wallet into intermediary addresses and ultimately into wallets John openly bragged about on Telegram. What's crazy is that John's father reportedly owns CMDSS, a company with an active US government contract assisting the US Marshals Service in managing and liquidating seized crypto assets. How access was obtained remains unclear. Yeah, that's my question too. How do you let this kid hack into that stuff? Probably from the dad somehow, I don't know. He must have been in on it. Shortly after the findings were published, CMDSS scrubbed its X account, website, and LinkedIn. John also began rapidly changing usernames and removing NFT handles from Telegram. Despite this, he continued trolling and even sent Zach XBT a small amount of ETH from one of the flagged wallets. That's insane. You have Zach XBT on your case, and imagine the hacker he's like, hey, here's some Ethereum, Zach. Please stop investigating me. Zach said that he will return those funds to a US government seizure address. Oh, how generous. How generous, Zach. Should have kept it, honestly, because the US government should be paying this guy for doing the blockchain wallet tracing. He's been, if you don't know who Zach XBT is, really good at what he does, and people turn to him whenever stuff like hacks or exploits occur, so that he will look into, like, he's an expert in this stuff, looking into blockchains, tracing all these addresses, where is all the crypto getting sent to. He finds all this criminal activity, wash trading, and money laundering. Exchange hacking is like what happened with North Korea. He figured out it was North Korea that hacked into Bybit. Remember that one hack? Crazy, a lot of stuff like that. And he even has a partnership with Binance now, last we checked. So the story is still developing, but the combination of leaked recordings, on-chain evidence, and government contractor ties make this one of the most explosive crypto investigations in years, and it's only January. Alright, I'm gonna stop looking at that. This is another funny stuff. These cops over here, they're looking in through this this body cam footage, right, of somebody's stuff in his car. The cops are like, what is this list with all these words? And the other cops are like, oh, that's the crypto stuff, man. You know, this is the seed phrase is what he's trying to say. Literally leaks it on the body cam and somehow publishes this video. Yeah, the wallet's already been drained of its funds, by the way, so rest in peace. Can he sue the cops for doing this? Whoever the owner was? They're literally leaking the whole seed phrase on the body cam. Like, you can see the words butterfly, I think that said spoon, siren. Yeah, this guy kind of knew about it, so it was too late. And why even release the footage? But whatever, hey. If you were able to read all that blurry 480p camera quality words, then congrats, you deserved to steal the crypto. Honestly, no, you don't steal crypto, okay? Bad. Stealing crypto, bad. It's like they gave out his bank account number, social or other personal or financial information. Yeah, but how do you get that back? How do you get crypto back? You really can't. So, government has to do something, I guess, to compensate. Can he sue the police? I think he absolutely should. And also, why do you have your seed phrase in your car? I don't know. I don't tell people where I keep my seed phrases, so yeah, anyway, no further comments. Okay, let's move on. Europe, apparently they are piling into US stocks. We'll be talking about stocks extensively here because there's no more crypto news. No, I'm kidding, but there's a lot of relevant stuff about stocks right now. So European investors now own a record $10.4 trillion in US stocks. Ownership has surged 4.9 trillion or plus 91% over the last 3 years alone. What does that tell you? That the US market is hot, in my opinion. Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, UK, they now hold $5.7 trillion in US equities, or 55% of the total European holdings. By comparison, the rest of the world holds 10.9 trillion. In other words, European investors now reflect almost half of all foreign holdings of the US equities. That's impressive. So everybody that's invested in the US market, if you're not American, right? The rest of the world, who is investing in the US markets? Half of them are Europeans. A lot of that money is coming from them. The rest of it is obviously from the rest of the world. Europe's exposure to US stocks is at unprecedented levels despite the trade war. They trust the plan. They believe in Trump. Last month, Representative Kevin Hearn, we're going to talk about insider trading here. He sold up to $500,000 worth of United Health stock. I don't have water. I'm going to die. The Trump administration today proposed flat Medicare reimbursement rates for insurers, causing United Health to crash over 10%. I kind of expected that to happen. I was going to say, like, all these health insurance companies, it's over for them. I've not looked at United Health in a minute, so let me have... Oh, okay, what a drop. It's not that bad. That's pretty bad, actually. 321 from being at 355. I'm surprised it even rose to 400. Almost 400. 387. I remember, like, all these dips. Yes, these were actual real-life purchases at 448, 408, 385, 379, 332. Some of them are seeing the light of day. Barely, though. Not these ones. Those are still... Anyway, let's not talk about it. Old stuff that I used to do. And the Queen is back. Nancy Pelosi filed new stock trades. When does she leave again? I think 2028? When does Nancy Pelosi's term end? She retired as a House Democratic leader and was succeeded by Hakeem Jeffries. In November 2025, she announced that she would not seek re-election in 2026 and would retire in January 2027. So she's still there. She's still making her insider trades. Although I did see that there's other congressmen that are outperforming her. I think her time is coming to an end, but she still made an interesting purchase that we'll talk about. So dozens of transactions filed and a purchase of up to $5 million in a company called Alliance Bernstein. AB is the ticker. I've never heard of this. What are you buying? Well, okay. Too late to get into it, of course. These people, as soon as they hear Nancy Pelosi buying this, they're just like, oh my gosh, Nancy Pelosi just bought. We're going to ape into whatever the heck this is. What even is this? Finance, investment management. Tell me more. Provision of research, investment management, and related services, offers investment trusts, mutual funds, hedge funds, and other investment vehicles. Why can't I start a company like this and have Nancy Pelosi buy it? I don't think this has got a large market cap, by the way it looks. It's worth $42. Maybe it has mid cap. I don't know. Let's see the... Hey, relax. I only put 1B. What are you doing? Alliance Bernstein. 4 billion market cap. It's actually pretty big. It's bigger than Solana, that's for sure. No, it's not bigger than Solana. 4 billion market cap, it's bigger than Sui. Oh, Sui's 5 billion, actually. Sorry, I take it back. It's about as big as World Liberty Financial in terms of the crypto market cap charts. That's pretty significant. An investment firm management. Oh, what else did she buy? There's a huge list over here. Let me see. She purchased Apple and sold Apple. Okay, great. This doesn't make sense. She buys and sells. Okay, options, and then that was sold. Amazon was purchased. Call options. Disney was sold off. Google was purchased and sold with call options. Nvidia was purchased in January. All of these in January. It's all on Quiver Quantitator. Can I please see? Do I even have it saved? Yes, I do. Nancy Pelosi, Congress. Nancy Mace Pelosi. Okay, here we go. So there's the purchase of Alliance Bernstein that we talked about. Amazon was purchased, Google, Nvidia, Viasat, Tempest AI, which we've talked about. These are all old, right? Nope. These are recent purchases as well. So she's buying more of them. Versant Media, I've never heard of this one. This is very... $15, does that count as a purchase? Okay. Apple was purchased and then sold. Amazon was purchased like we talked about. Google was purchased and sold. Nvidia was purchased. These trades happened in December. PayPal was sold. Apple sold. Amazon sold. Nvidia sold. All from October. These are far back now. These are the more relevant ones in January 16. New trades filed. Filed January 23rd, but the trades happen on January 16th. So she's already in profit for some of them. At least for Alliance Bernstein, absolutely. Because this is a new one that people are just noticing now. She purchased on January 16th, so right around over here. She's up like, not that much. It says here 4% that she is up, not here. Get out of here. Come on, where is it? 4% up? Okay, well, if you say so. What is her average price? We'll never know. It's likely she bought this top then. One of these tops, this one. And from here it is up maybe 4%. Sure, that makes sense. Okay, not bad, Nancy. Not bad at all. Thanks for letting us know. I will inform my mother. And then the last bit of news I have is this TikTok purchase by Oracle by Larry Ellison. The censorship is already happening. The new company, what was it called? Upscroll? Upstart? Upscroll? I think it's Upscroll. Nothing specific to that, but maybe they do have a good chance. I don't know. If you try to say the word Epstein on TikTok, you get that word censored. All right. Well, Israel confirmed Mossad agent Epstein Jeffrey confirmed. Not confirmed. So yeah, that's all. That's all the news I had for today, guys. Tomorrow I will not be streaming. Tomorrow nothing will happen. We're not getting that vote from the Senate Banking Committee. Agriculture Committee got delayed until the 29th, sorry. 27 is tomorrow, so that's not happening. What will be happening is the CFTC and the SEC meeting. I don't know if we're really gonna see anything come out of that. What do we expect from it? I could ask Grok. Get out of here. Grok. What can we expect from the CFTC and SEC meeting tomorrow on digital assets? I think it's... Okay, thank you, Grok, for not even trying. Does this just not make sense? Okay, hold on. CFTC SEC meeting 12 hours ago. Joint event on harmonization. Leadership in the crypto era. Just give me the date. When is it happening? Agenda at 2 p.m. is when it's happening. When? Thursday, January 29. So that's also getting delayed. Okay. Previously scheduled for January 27, now rescheduled for Thursday, January 29. Dude, nothing happens at all. So yeah, literally nothing will happen tomorrow then. It's all getting pushed to the 29th. Okay. Because of the bad weather. Oh no. For online attendance, registration is not necessary. For in-person attendance, please register in advance. Yeah, I'm going to go in person. Where is this? In Washington, D.C.? That's too far. I'll be busy on that day. I have work. If it was Friday, my day off, yeah, maybe I'll do it. How far would I have to travel? Like 7 hours? More than that. 9 hours? I don't know. And I don't drive. So yeah, that's not going to happen. You can just view it online if you truly care. It's just a bunch of boomers talking crypto, which we love to see. That is it for tonight, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe. We'll see you not tomorrow. See you Wednesday. All right. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye. We'll see what rate cut happens.